Good morning, everyone. My name is Jayant Ganwani. I'm the CEO of Lals Group. Lals Group started in the UAE in 1979, and we have evolved and developed along with the UAE over the last 5 decades. Jafza has been an integral part of our journey, and every emirate has given us the opportunity to diversify and do something special. We believe that the UAE is the land of opportunity, and in the land of opportunity, the Lals Group business has evolved over the last few decades from being an original food retailer and a grocery supermarket operator into a diversified conglomerate that today has had experience in manufacturing, poultry, real estate development, hotel operations, shopping centers, department stores, and many other investments that we have made over the time. And we are absolutely grateful as a family to the rulers of the UAE and our hosts here in Jafza for providing us the platform and the opportunity to build our businesses. This is our second stint in Jafza, and the more we look at Jafza, the more we find that Jafza is the right place for our headquarters and our logistics operations to be. The first time we came to Jafza was in the early 80s. We were probably one of the first few companies to come and explore a garment manufacturing platform here in Jafza. Jafza were extremely cooperative, very, very supportive of industry being brought into Jafza. We ran the business here for about 4 or 5 years. And then due to various changing regulations in our main source market, we pivoted outside and said that we would not be in that industry. We came back to Jafza in 2004 with this present facility. And since then, we now have 4 facilities in Jafza, predominantly in the logistics, warehousing, and trade sectors. Jafza, I think, was a phenomenal idea at the right time, and whilst it provided the opportunity to companies to own their businesses 100%, I think that Jafza has the biggest runway today with the evolution of laws in the UAE and the soon to be launched corporate tax regime. I think free zones like Jafza, and Jafza in particular, have a lot to provide to businesses. Always a difficult question when somebody talks about market share in the UAE, because the one thing that we miss here in the UAE is comparable data and statistics. Because we don't have access to critical information, one can only assume what is happening with their own performance, and we are not able to benchmark it against the competition. I think that the authorities are working on that solution, and we should be able to, in the very near future, determine how we perform versus everybody else, what our market shares are. To go back to your previous question on what are our milestones, I think that we started off as you mentioned correctly, a single store operation in Ajman in 1979. And the growth that we saw in the business can itself be considered a milestone, because nowhere else, in my view, can a company immediately see the benefit of hard work and investment. You see the opportunities to grow. And for us, more critically, are the facts that the laws have changed, the policies have changed, the opportunities have changed to support businesses and allow us to diversify from a simple distribution business into a multifaceted business organization in the last 4.5 decades. We have our own operations in all the GCC countries, so we use our base in the UAE to export product to all the GCC countries. And then we have distribution businesses that are based here, and those businesses handle exports to almost 50 different countries from Africa to Asia, and the availability of the smooth shipping connections out of Jafza and of the other ports here have been tremendously helpful in allowing us to build our facilities and our businesses. We are in the UAE, our workforce exceeds 4,500 people. We are present in every emirate. In our industry, we'd like to believe that we are in the top 3 in any segment that we operate in. And as I said, we have ambitions to grow, and we have ambitions to diversify, and we have ambitions to look at more opportunities. And I think that the platform that has been given to us by the rulers of the UAE in the economy and by the authorities in Jafza will truly help us build our company to the level that we aspire to. So in the UAE, we operate about 180 stores. We run about 1.5 million square feet of retail. And I think our numbers of employees, as I said, are close to 4,500. That includes both our distribution and our retail business. When you look at the operation of the GCC-wide entities, it becomes quite a substantial number. I think the mall business sincerely changed post-COVID, and Lals Group is no exception. We went into the mall business in 1996. And Lamsi was our first foray into the shopping mall business. After that, we've run multiple shopping centers, but we've seen that Dubai is gravitating more and more, and the consumer is gravitating more and more towards the super regional large shopping malls like we have from MR and from Majid Al Futtaim. I don't believe that the small shopping center has a journey anymore, and we've seen that over the last few years our shopping mall business has not been performing at the same level because the consumer wants to go out shopping in one place, finish everything in one place, and therefore I think that the main business will belong to the large malls. I don't foresee us or any of the small mall operators truly remaining in that segment. The shopping malls will remain in the neighborhoods where they cater to a very specific demographic, but otherwise the shopping center industry will belong to the super regionals. Without technology, we would be blind. And I think that is a common statement for any successful enterprise. If we don't know what we are selling, how we are selling, what are our margins, when do we need to replenish, when do we need to reorder, I think we would not be able to operate any business with any kind of efficiency. And we are in the midst of a very substantial ERP upgrade ourselves. We've been connected and been online for the last 2.5 decades, but we believe that the investment in IT is the most important investment that any business can make. And once we are up and running on our latest ERP platform in the cloud, I think that we will be a much more resilient and informed business going forward. I think 23 holds tremendous opportunities for our business, because if you look at our sourcing predominantly from Asia, we have seen far more disruptions in our supply chain than those companies that were buying out of the US and the Western world. With China reopening, factories reopening, Malaysia reopening, and most of Asia reopening, I believe that with freights coming down, supply chains will improve, business will improve, and overall the opportunities for us to cater to the re-export businesses and to the consumers in our neighborhood countries will improve. Particularly for Lals, I think that the freights stabilizing back to the old level will truly help margins which were under pressure. So I think that 2023 should be a good year by all respects. No brick and mortar business can succeed without having an e-commerce platform. Every business needs to have click and collect, and I think the UAE average is circa 15 to 20% of the business will move online, and we are seeing trends to that extent. We sincerely got online and adopted e-commerce in 2020, and I think it has been the best experience that we've had for a long time. I think we were late to the party. That was a mistake in hindsight. We should have done this substantially before, but never too late. We are online now with each and every business, and it is showing great signs of success. I think one important thing to look at is that it's not just the UAE that saw disruptions. The whole world saw disruptions. Geopolitical events, COVID, nothing that is normally expected or anticipated came to fruition and disrupted the world's business. With factories reopening, with shipping lines going back to normal operations, I think business will, at least in the GCC and particularly in the UAE, return back to normal. And can we prevent this from happening in the future? I think every company had got used to the idea of just-in-time inventory. And I think that conversation has to change, and everybody will have to carry some inventory in the future to insulate themselves and their businesses from disruptions like COVID. And I think facilities like ours in Jafza and all our friends here in Jafza will help meet companies or will help companies meet their sales obligations and their targets in the future by being able to store in a nice, secure, free zone area.